Alright guys, this video is a gameplay. It'll also serve as a bit of an update because I am doing some new things since I put out chapter 1. We of course, like Callum Moore says, we're going to aggressively take what the defense gives us, and in this game you'll see that was the run game. This team refused to get out of the nickel defense, so we ran the ball as much as we could. Those highlights that you saw just now were from this same offense, but they were from different games, and those games I was passing the ball a little bit more. So you take a look at this video, you'll see the Cowboys actually do use empty quads, which is in, I think, Baltimore and Atlanta's playbooks. So you see the 4 wide receivers at the top of the screen and the 1 down bottom. Of course, those 4 wide receivers on one side puts the defense in a lot of pressure. The Cowboys take advantage of this by throwing a screen to the outside receiver. Now, we do have a screen to our inside receiver. I don't use it in this game, but I have used it in other games. But what I'm going to do here instead is use that threat to flood the zones vertically to push back the coverage and allow my receiver to get underneath the coverage and pick up a fair chunk of the 10 yards that we need to gain on this play, if not the whole 10 yards. So this set really does put you in a position where it's easy to pick up short yardage because your opponent has to respect what you can do going vertically. And here you'll see the Cowboys, they actually employed a similar tactic. It's a different empty look, mind you. You got 3 up top and 2 down below, but you'll see the vertical routes push the defense back, and they allow the tight end to get underneath to pick up this 3rd and 3 with relative ease. Now, I ignore Madden's green box. If you take a look here, Madden thinks this is a good run, and it's not bad. But this power run stretches so far to the outside that this DB on the edge of the box should actually be considered as a part of the run fit. And it would make more sense to me to use my audibles and get into strong H wing, because now I have 4 O linemen, 1 tight end, and a fullback standing over these 3 guys in the box. If you want to count the 4th guy way on the edge, great. But this is a dive run, so he's not as much a factor as the other guy would have been. So on 3rd and 1, this is almost a guaranteed first down, and of course a little bit more. Now, a tactic that the Cowboys use a lot is they'll come out in doubles, but they'll have 2 tight ends, 1 split out wide, and they'll motion him in. Now, this not only gives you an additional big body to block in the run game, but it also allows you to see what your opponent does, what their adjustments are when you actually do this motion. And it also gives them another gap that they have to worry about defending. So we get these pulling linemen, and we're able to be patient, hit a hole, and get a decent run. So you'll see here, we're going to do the same thing. We have a tight end split out wide, Blake Jarwin, and we have Dalton Schultz on the line. So we're going to motion Jarwin in so that we have a wing look as opposed to a doubles look. And now you'll see we have 3 O linemen, and 2 tight ends on this side of the line of scrimmage. We should be able to pick up some easy blocks. We're also going to have our left guard pulling on this play. So we're going to have an additional blocker. So this is a very advantageous look to run against. And again, we're running away from that nickel defender on the other side. So we pick up the good blocks and we gain about 15 yards, is it? Yeah, about 15 yards. Now this is a doubles look where the Cowboys came out, they see the advantage. No need for any motion, no need for any trickery. We're just going to go ahead, hand this off, and run it right up the gut, pick up our yards. So if your opponent is going to play light, here you see there are only 3 in the box. We're in 11 personnel this time. But there's no reason to do anything other than just snap this ball and pick up what we can pick up in terms of our yardage moving forward. And you see we pick up great blocks. It opened like the Red Sea, and we pick up an easy game. Now, the Cowboys are one of the few teams who have enough offensive personnel, enough talent on their offense, that you can take out Ezekiel Elliott, let him rest his wheels, come out in a single back trips, and allow Tony Pollard to do a little bit of work. So you'll see they do that here, and Pollard does a great job. There isn't a productivity drop off when you bring in Tony Pollard. It gives the defense another thing to worry about. So we're going to do that same thing. We're going to jump into single back trips. We're going to let Zeke go get some Gatorade. And Tony Pollard's running out of light box. Again, this guy, he insisted on staying in these nickel defenses. And like Kellen said, We're going to take it aggressively. There's no reason to do anything other than take what they give us. Now, another motion that the Cowboys use a lot, and they use trips looks a lot, mind you. So they're going to come out in doubles, and they're going to bring the solo receiver over to make it a trips look. And then you just look at now you're going to take a look at the defense, and you're going to determine where your leverage is. Again, this isn't a heavy box. They decide to run it. It was a short game, but it was the right call. On this play, we'll take a look at another trips run. Now you see narrow the screen. That's actually a DB. He wants no parts of this run. So if you get past that defensive line, you're pretty much good to go, right? Yeah, see number 43? He wants no parts of Zeke, especially from that angle. So that's an easy pickup. Now we come out and we see Nickle 3-3-5. It's a great defense if you're defending the pass. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to motion into our trips look and see if our opponent makes any adjustments. He doesn't. So he actually is in a zone, and he has two defenders who are absolutely not going to do anything on this play. We could throw this bubble to CeeDee Lamb, but if the run has been good to us and we know we can run it, we'll go ahead. CeeDee Lamb is actually going to just be an additional blocker now, as opposed to somebody catching the bubble screen, although that would have been a decent option. But we're going to just keep taking the run as long as it's there. So now the Cowboys come out in a bunch set, and Dak notices the strength of the defense is aligned over his bunch receivers. So he's going to motion Zeke behind him in order to run at the opposite side of the defense. And the tactic worked. They picked up the first down. Now we have bunch and bunch halfback strong in our game plan, but here we actually use open flex weak, and we're going to audible over to the dive play in open flex to take advantage of this same thing. Now this dive play, the play art is going to show that it's running straight ahead, and we do run this straight ahead, but this is a dive that very easily bounces to either direction. Once you get the ball, you can steer your halfback. So if we wanted to get back to the outside of the field, we could have. Now you see Dallas again in an empty set. This is actually an empty stack. If you see the receivers narrow the screen, they're in a stack look. But what Dallas does a great job of is spreading the field using spacing concepts and underneath routes to the tight ends or to receivers to pick up quick, short, easy yardage. So we're going to go ahead and mimic that now. If you take a look, now there's actually a lot of defenders concentrated in the middle of the field. So we're going to look at the edges and see which one of these receivers is our best option. Of course, I have Amari on my mind as opposed to Tony Pollard. So we're gonna make the read between CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. The user stays inside on the tight end, so we get an easy pickup to Amari Cooper. Now this is another tactic that I've seen the Cowboys use a good bit as I review film. It's essentially a curl flat, but they're going to motion a receiver over and snap it while he's still in motion. That's going to be your flat receiver, and if you watch CeeDee Lamb, he's going to be your curl receiver. So this is a play that I've used a lot in gun wing stack. Sorry, it's in the Cowboys playbook, and it's another motion snap. It works out similarly because you're going to make this read between Coop and the tight end. However, I have started to do more of a curl flat to do a better job replicating what we just saw the Dallas Cowboys actually use in real life, as opposed. And now on this snap, we come out in doubles again. The defense is in a 3-3-5 once again, so we know we can run this without a motion, and they've been used to us motioning, so we quick snap it. We're looking at our guards to see who gets to the second level quickest. We missed a big hole there, but we did pick up a decent gain still. You'll see here the Cowboys come out in a doubles look again, and Dak is going to scan the field to see what he has available to him. Now Dak's tight ends, both of them are very, very trusted to run these routes. And you'll see this is a bit of an inverted whip by Blake Jarwin. We're going to watch the replay to see how he beats his man. He does get a rub route from Noah Brown. That helps a lot. But you see he fakes his man to the outside and gets back hard to the inside for what essentially is a great route and an easy touchdown. And Dallas's tight ends do this quite often. So now we're going to, if you take a look, this is clearly a man defense. So we know that we can have our tight end run a similar route to the one we just saw in the real world video. So we're going to motion Jarwin in. And this isn't a look that we want to run power against. If you look where everybody is, if I'm going to run, I want to run inside here. I don't want to run that power. because we got 4 DBs to the right of our offensive line. So we're going to allow Blake Jarwin to run that inverted bit just like he did in the real world video, get to the inside, and get the easy touchdown. The Cowboys come out in a doubles look here, and the defense is very well spread out. You'll see the box is light. There are a lot of options here. So Dak's going to scan the field and decide what is the best move for his team. And it is quite simply to hand the ball off to your hammer and let him do work. We take a look and we see something very similar. Like I said, we don't always need to motion. I'm sure he was waiting for us to motion Jarwin into the wing and then take our time and run the ball. So while he's adjusting or waiting for that, we're going to go ahead and snap the rock to Ezekiel Elliott. We're going to follow our blockers and we're going to run to daylight. Here we were able to break it for a big gain. You won't always, but if you continue to aggressively take what the defense gives you, you will break a big one every now and again. So now here against the Eagles, you see they actually had 7 in the box, so they are thinking about the run because the Cowboys have been very successful with the run. One thing that the Cowboys do though is they do a great job opening up these corner routes for their tight ends and for their receivers, using flats to the running back and using crossing routes or other routes to distract the defense from other receivers in the middle of the field. So you'll see Pollard goes to the flat, drawing down the defender, and Amari Cooper comes across to the inside, holding that deep safety, which allows Blake Jarwin to get wide open in the end zone. So we're going to do something similar here. We're going to send Tony Pollard to the flat, and we're going to have Blake Jarwin go back across the middle of the field while Amari Cooper runs to the corner. And we're going to take a look to see what is our best option. Now, our opponent here has only seen us run out of this look, so he was fully anticipating that we would be running again. However, our corner route got open, similar to the way that it did in the video we just watched, and we're able to get it upfield, and we're going to jump right back into that split twins look, get down into our I form tight, and we're going to give the ball to our halfback for an easy touchdown. So now on this play, the Cowboys starting bunch, they're going to motion Amari Cooper over. And now what you're going to see here is, again, they go to these spacing concepts or these curl flat concepts and things along those lines just to get quick, easy gains. So they open things up very nicely for the tight end to get a modest gain. So we're going to do something similar. We're going to use slant flats, which is also going to put some pressure on the lower zones to have to try to defend all of these routes. And we're just going to look to see who's open. And for us, again, it's going to be our tight end. I tried to lead him to the inside, so I didn't like how that ball drifted, but we made the completion. So we're going to see something similar again here in the Cowboys offense when they line up in these empty offenses. Quite often you're going to see it's these quick underneath routes because there is that vertical threat. So you got a quick out to Tony Pollard to pick up a good chunk of the 15 yards that they needed to gain on that series. So you'll see we come out in our 4 wide receiver set again. This time I did contemplate putting Amari Cooper on a slant, but once the defender made this adjustment, I said, okay, I'll put him on an out route because that is now where my leverage is. So we put him on the out route, we take the quick yardage, and we're actually able to get upfield and turn it into a first down. So now you guys have seen me run out of the doubles before, so that's what we're going to do. We're lined up in doubles. We see that we have the advantage. There are 3 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. There's no reason to do anything fancy. We're going to take what is there for us. Now, if you take a look here, the Cowboys have these 4 tight end sets that they come out in every now and again. So they come up with 4 tight ends, or the announcer said 4 tight ends. It's actually 3 tight ends and Connor McGovern, who we've been using at fullback, which is similar to what you see in Madden with Jumbo, right? But they motion out. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have a double set that I just have all my tight ends subbed in, and I'll come out in that to motion down to Jumbo so I can get a similar effect, because I obviously can't motion out from Jumbo into it. But and they take a sack and snap in that Jumbo look and go ahead and get the touchdown. So I don't have a doubles formation set up before my tight ends yet. It was after this game that I decided I would do that. So we're just going to go ahead and use Jumbo to create the desired effect. But the next gameplay, you'll see I'm going to have a double setup to give that desired effect. Now, thank you guys for coming out. Thank you for showing your support. By all means, get in the lab and let's give them hell with this, all right?